So in this video, we're going to have a look at concatenating arrays, so putting our arrays together. So the same way that you might merge different pieces of data that come from different sources. We're going to set our arrays at first. So we're just going to have Numpy array. We're going to arrange our numbers from 2 till 5. Then our next one is just going to be a Numpy array, and we're going to specify that I want 1, 2, 3, 4. And our last one we're going to do is a random one. And we'll have maximum of 1, and I would like 4 elements in my array, please. Let's print those out, just check they've read it. Okay. Yep, can't spell array, that's the one. Random.rand, and this is why you always print your data out to make sure you've actually read stuff in. That looks better. So 2, 3, 4. I wanted 2 to 5 though, didn't I? So change that to 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 random integers. Sorry, 4 random floats in a 1-row array with 4 columns. Nice. So let's do some concatenation. So concatenation just means putting them together. np.concatenate. Round brackets, square brackets. Let's put A and B together. And let's print that out. So you can see that that has just put them literally into the same one-dimensional array, which is 1 row by 8 columns. So it's not kept these two data sets separate. And we can do the same again if we want to. If we want to get A, B, and C together, you do np.concatenate. So let's show you this. If we do A, B, and C, we get an error message. And it can only integer scalars array can be converted to scalar index. So the problem we've got here is we've got one-dimensional, but a 2-dimensional array. And it can't put all of those into 1 dimension. So we need to actually index into our C array with a 0 there before it will concatenate them together for us. And we need to give it our brackets that we had there, our square brackets. So we're going to create an array, and we can print out our ABC, which is all of those numbers put together just in 1 row. And obviously we can index into this as you would do normally. If we do A, B, C, let's take the 6th element. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we agree with that. So that's great if you have data sets that you actually want to merge together. So say you had actually collected data that was on male and female, and you wanted to put those all together into one data set. So you preserve your separate data, obviously, because you don't overwrite your raw data, but you can put it all together for certain analysis. But say we actually wanted to create separate rows. So we keep our data separate. So we're going to create a new array of D, and np.array, and let's create a 2-dimensional array. First bracket, second bracket, 1, 2, 3 in there, and then our second row, 4, 5, 6, and let's print D out. So we've got something to work with. There we go. So we can still use concatenate here, and it's still going to, as you'll see, put everything into these same outer brackets, but we're going to retain the information that's in the inner brackets. If that didn't make sense, let's have a look. So we're going to concatenate D with D. So np dot concatenate, round brackets, square brackets, and let's just do D and D, and we'll print that out straight away. So you can see we've literally duplicated our array and extended it by a factor of 100. So we've got the data that's in the inside set of brackets has been duplicated, and it's kept those inside a set of brackets. So that would be a way to make sure that you're keeping your data separate if you want to use the concatenation. We could, however, duplicate along the row axis and create more columns. So here we've concatenated in one dimension and we've created a bunch of extra rows. We could create a bunch of extra columns instead. So we can do a DD other, and that's np.concatenate, still round brackets, square brackets, DD. We have an option that we put in here, which is the axis. By default, the axis is 0. So we need to change that if we want to do something else. And we can change that to axis as being 1, and it will add it as a column. So we've recreated our 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. So both of the 0th rows are added together. Both of the first rows are added together. So you can kind of keep your data a little bit separate here. It's maybe not what you actually want to do. So normally you've got 3 different data sets. Let's remind ourselves of A, B and C. And you probably want to keep these as individual data sets, please. But you would actually like them all within the same array rather than having to work with them separately. So you've got everything in the same place. And you use a different command for that. You use a command called vstack. So, well, vstack if you want to have these as a row each. So V for vertical. So if we do vstacked, np.vstack, round brackets, square bracket, and then just add in, oops, A, B, and C even, the variable names of the data that you want to stack. Print that out. Stacked. And you can see here we've created a 2-dimensional array. Our 0th row is our first element that we've asked to go in. First row is the second. 3rd row is the 3rd. And you've probably guessed that hstack is a horizontal stack. So if you do np.hstack, we pop the rows together. So let's do A and B. Round brackets and square brackets, A, B. And that does, in this instance, the same as concatenate, because we put it all into one continuous array. So we can use this hstack to actually add essentially another set of data, so another column of data to our data set. We know it's going to add on as an extra column here, and we can do this in 3 dimensions as well rather than just 1 dimension. So if we do np.hstack, round brackets, square brackets. So we're going to work with our vstacked array, and we're just going to add on an array that will add an extra column on for us. So we're just going to write that out, and you just need to be slightly careful with brackets. So round brackets, square brackets as normal, but then each bit we want to add on, it needs to be its own array as well. So we're going to add on a 9, an 8, and a 7. And if we run that, you can see that's taken our V-stacked array and we've done a horizontal add to it, which has actually created essentially a column that's added on for us. So you can add additional data in that fashion. Right, so when you're ready, this is combining arrays together. The next one we're going to have a look at how to split arrays up. I'll see you in that video when you're ready.